They don't know what is the difference between, if I had more money, is that increase my outcomes? They don't have the slightest idea, and there's a lot of ambiguous information on the internet.
So I might speculate, based on what you're saying, that you probably believe that a whole number of treatment modalities probably have the potential to work.
Yes, but if families aren't educated,
but it's the family issue.
They can undo.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
They can undo. And that's, people ask, how did you go to, I do some work for other rehabs, I do workshops, and they always say, don't tell them you went to 25 rehabs. It makes it sound like rehabs
Right.
don't work. And the thing is, rehabs work extremely well, but there is a continuum of care after the 28 days. And only 10% of addicts follow that. And why is that? It's because they want to redesign their own treatment plan. And families don't understand that there's this continuum.
Well, that's why I wanted to make sure that people understood that this is back to what you said in the first show, was there's no it. There's no magical it. It is, you have to get the family involved. It's a
Sure.
whole systems kind of thing.
I like your analogy about church with it.
Yeah, if you went to church on Sunday, did it work? There's no it.
There, that's a good point. And for
Here's-
some people, it just doesn't.
Here's a real answer. I went to 25 rehabs, right? Here's the real question. Where did I go the day after I left the treatment center? The answer is almost always
Are
the
you
same.
interviewing me? Because I don't know the answer.
Well, the answer is almost always the same. I went right back to Mom's house, surrounded by people that loved me, that wanted me to do so well, that they didn't want to push me. They were afraid if they pushed me too hard, I'd relapse. I always landed on their couch. And that right there is a recipe for disaster. And part of our struggles on the intervention side is to teach a family that coming right home isn't necessarily the ideal scenario.
And David always took control of his treatment plan at that point, and we didn't know any better. So, and what did David do? But took a comfortable approach, whatever comfortable was for him at that moment. And we felt as long as he went to rehab, as long as he's not using today, okay, this sounds all right. Dave's not at the crack house anymore. Dave's at our house, so things must be good. But things weren't always good.
So give me an example. I want to make sure we get to the center at some point where that came in. But at this point, give me an example of an intervention that just, really worked, a little bit of detail to it, and one that's like, oh my gosh, this one just absolutely fell apart.
I give you 100 of them that really worked. Because a lot of times, they're so emotional.
Yeah.
And
Well, just kind of tell us about one of those that really worked.
You go ahead.
I can give you one that, but it doesn't seem like it worked, but it lasted over a year.
Okay, just kind of give us a little thumbnail of the family, the person.
Addict was a 27-year-old heroin. Heroin's one of the big common ones right now. Heavily entitled, hijacked his family, had no consequences, wrecked several cars, always got new ones. And to hold that family's hands and to teach them first about boundaries is the magic, and to allow that kid to experience the consequences of his lifestyle choices.
So the family's really they've got to come to grips with this
yeah.
thing and face it. So when does it fail?
I always say an intervention really never fails. That sounds kind of like a sales pitch there, but because what we believe with the intervention is, and I teach this with my interventionists I train up, that the intervention is actually won on day one, not day two. We do a two-day intervention, which is day one is with the family, not with the addict. Day two is with the addict. And what I mean by it's never fails, if you really do your job with that family, the intervention will work. It's just a matter of when. Because if the family learns to set healthy boundaries and
it's a
stop
process.
enabling, usually the process takes a couple hours into an intervention and we're getting them on a plane, or it takes a couple days of tough love. Sometimes it takes longer than that.
I'll dispute that. There are interventions that absolutely don't work because a lot of times the families will hire us to do all the work and yet make it very clear that I'm unwilling to change. We're not going to change our family system. You need to go and talk them into treatment. And we will talk for 8 hours, is usually the first day, to try to get them educated so that they look at it differently. And I'll hear things like, well, I know you're saying that his chances would be better if he goes away to a 90-day option. But he doesn't. But he doesn't want to do that.
And you need to understand our family's different, right? So that's not going to work for us.
When I hear he,